What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another Arc Insight for you guys today. And today we are pitting the TROPEOGNATHUS against the ASTRODELPHIS. So guys, this is going to be a rather interesting one. I honestly don't know how it's going to pan out. I think the ASTRODELPHIS will be slightly faster. However, I think the TROPEOGNATHUS will do a very good job of keeping up with the ASTRODELPHIS. So guys, let's go over their base stats first, and then we'll get into their abilities. So guys, for the TROPEOGNATHUS, we're looking at 360 health, 250 stamina, 340 weight, and 125.8 melee damage. If we come across to the ASTRODELPHIS, we've got 325 health, 250 stamina, 280 weight, and 125.8 melee damage. So already, the ASTRODELPHIS does have lower HP than the TROPEOGNATHUS, as well as its weight is also lower than the TROPEOGNATHUS by quite a bit, by a solid chunk. So that is rather interesting. Now, as for these guys' saddles, you can see here that the Tropeo saddle is learned at level 65. You need a bunch of resources and is crafted at the fabricator. The ASTRODELPHIS' saddle is learnt at level 120. It requires even more resources and has to be crafted at a tech replicator. So you need a lot of resources for that saddle. So you can get them in drops on Genesis 2. Keep that in mind. Now, as for taming these guys, the TROPEOGNATHUS is found on the Crystal Isles, very high up in the sky. And what you need to do in order to tame him is pop a rare flower, and that will cause him to aggro on you, drag him down into a trap, and then you need to chain bowler him, and you can knock him out. So it is quite an ordeal to try and tame a TROPEOGNATHUS. As for the ASTRODELPHIS, it is a passive tame in which you feed element to, and you have to pet it in the head at the same time. So they're both, I mean, the ASTRODELPHIS is hands down easier to tame than the TROPEOGNATHUS, and easier to find as well. TROPEOGNATHUS is very difficult to find because they fly very high up, whereas the ASTRODELPHIS, you know where it spawns in that space biome, and they're normally swimming in pods. So you'll be fine finding heaps of them. So guys, let's go over their abilities. Now, the TROPEOGNATHUS is kind of like a reskinned Tapihara, unfortunately. It's even got the same noises, but it has the ability to pivot on the spot. You can see here we are able to fly around. It is able to pick up enemy players and do an armor sundering ability to them. Now, you need quite a bit of stamina for this, and obviously we are riding a level 1 with very bare minimum stamina. Now, this armor sundering ability will shred through their armor and break it quicker as well. So keep that in mind as well. He also has a normal power attack, and you can use this secondary ability to pick up small creatures like dodos, lystrosaurus, compies, you know, those sort of tames. So keep that in mind as well. Now, it also has a primary attack, and there you can see the damage that the TROPEOGNATHUS is doing, which is 22 base damage at level 1. So, I mean, it's nothing crazy good, but, like, it's a flyer. You're not going to be, once again, using these guys to go about killing a bunch of stuff. They also have a wing flap ability, which you just saw there, and that causes them to pretty much blow away enemy, well, just dinos in general, really. However, to use it, you have to sort of time your landing at the right time, and you can see there, all you need to do is double tap spacebar as you come down for a land. That's the best way I've found to do it. And that knocks away enemy dinos. Now, guys, as for the Trophio's saddle, you can ride it without gasoline. However, if you whack gasoline and some grenades in there, you'll unlock this boy's secret ability. And that is the ability to turn into a motherfrickin' jet. So you can see there, we are able to jet ahead and just absolutely take off into the stratosphere. Now, this does utilize stamina, so do be careful. If you sprint, it does. If not, you don't use stamina while doing this. He also has the ability to fire grenades through a secondary attack button, but obviously you need to have the grenades in your inventory with you, otherwise this will not work. Now, as well as that, if he flies by any other flyers or tames for that matter, he will gain a draft ability, which you can see there in the bottom right hand corner. And if we come around here, you'll see what it says, that it says you can tap space and you can go faster. So that bar is shown by that in the bottom left hand corner, that little yellow and blue bar. That will enable you to go faster, and you can use that to pretty much increase your speed. So you can see there we've run out of stamina, however, which is unfortunate. Now, you'll also get notified of when you can actually do his other abilities. So if you guys noticed there as we were landing, if we hit space again, we would have done our wing flap. If we had hit space while we were in the sky flying, we would have gained extra speed. So just keep an eye on all of that if you're not entirely sure with the TROPEOGNATHUS. And you can activate his jet booster ability by hitting control. As well as that, you can also activate his thingy ability, that ability, by diving. And that will cause you to go faster as well. Now you will need a steady supply of gasoline for this, otherwise you'll struggle to actually keep it up. But yeah. That is pretty much everything about the TROPEOGNATHUS that you need to know. That is everything about the TROPEOGNATHUS. So he's got that armor sundering ability. You can pick up enemy players and smaller dinos. So keep that in mind as well when you're going about trying to tame one of these guys up. But they do look rather cool. It's a shame that they just have the same sort of things as a Tapihara. These guys are probably going to die here, to be honest. Never mind, we saved them. Alright, cool. So let's jump on the Astrodelphis next, and this guy also has a bunch of abilities as well. So guys, first off, his base melee damage, let's come over here, is 30. So he does hit slightly harder than the TROPEOGNATHUS, so keep that in mind. As well as that, he also has a tech saddle, which does require element to power. You can function without the tech saddle, but there's not really too much of a point with it, because this guy really shines when you put element in his inventory and power up that tech saddle. So once you've put element in the Astrodelphis' inventory, you gain access to the Starfighter mode, which opens his wings and gives you the ability to fire laser blasts, as well as charged laser blasts and grenades. So this guy's got a lot going on. He does hit harder than the TROPEOGNATHUS I've found. However, the TROPEOGNATHUS' saddle doesn't actually scale with armor, it scales with damage. So the higher tier saddle that you find for a TROPEOGNATHUS, the more damage you will do with its grenades attacks. Now, as for the Astrodelphis' tech saddle abilities, we can fire the lasers, and I'm just trying to line it up the shot, but it's a bit harder when you are a literal speed demon. So the laser blasts deal 66 damage per laser. If you hit both of them, you will do extra damage. Now, the charged attack actually deals even more damage if you can actually hit whatever it is that you're aiming for and not just cruising around on the floor here. Here we go. This raptor is volunteered. I don't know where that blast went. You can see there, it did 150 damage. There's a Pteranodon over here, a Limantra. So you can see there, we hit for 150 damage with the charged blast of the tech. Now, as for the grenade does a lot. You can detonate whenever you want as well by just hitting your secondary attack again. So keep that in mind. Now, as for the Astrodelphis, it does have the ability to sort of drift. If you pull off a drift, you will gain a speed boost as well. You can do this with either direction by holding the directional keys. As well as that, if you hit X, he will do a backflip. If you hit C, he will also do a barrel roll. So the Astrodelphis has quite a few abilities. He can also pivot on the spot while not in Starfighter mode, very similarly to the TROPEOGNATHUS and the Tappy. As well as that, he is able to slow down his move speed by holding down the back key, and then you can obviously speed yourself up by pressing forward, holding shift. There's a bunch of ways you can speed yourself up and slow yourself down on the Astrodelphis. Now, as well as that, when you do manage to kill a creature, they will occasionally drop a buff that you can receive. If you fly through that buff, you will gain increased damage, defense, and speed. So this can stack up to twice, I believe, as well. So we're going to try and kill this Limantra here, and I'll show you guys. You can see there we've now gotten it to max damage, max defense, and max speed. And this causes you to fly faster, deal more damage, and take reduced damage. So it's very effective for PvP combat and like dogfights in the sky, which is what the TROPEOGNATHUS as well was used for. However, the Astrodelphis has come out, and I don't think many people remember about the TROPEOGNATHUS. So guys, as far as I can remember and researched, I am 99% sure that that is all of their abilities. So keep that in mind. Now we're going to do a speed test. This is going to be super quick because these boys are super fast. And once again, we're going to do the same situation where we're going to go from here to the other side of the gate. Now my money is on the Astrodelphis because it has a literal tech saddle that will power it through anything. However, the TROPEOGNATHUS isn't going to be super slow either. The TROPEOGNATHUS was the fastest flyer before the Astrodelphis. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to do my best here to time it correctly as well. But here we go, let's get it underway, and we're off. So that was about 3.5 seconds for the TROPEOGNATHUS. I'm hoping I'm correct with the timestamps, but yeah, that was about 3.5 seconds for the TROPEOGNATHUS at full speed through the gates. So we're going to move on to the Astrodelphis, and I can tell you right now that this boy is probably going to be faster than the Tropheo, purely because it's got a tech saddle. Like you can't really compete with this guy. However, if you don't have access to level 120 or the tech stuff, TROPEOGNATHUS is a good call as well. So we're just going to wait for this boost to run off, and then we're going to go through the gate. All right, and we're going to go away, and about 2.5 seconds, I'm going to say. So the Astrodelphis is slightly faster than the TROPEOGNATHUS, which is obviously what we'd be expecting. I would say getting from point A to point B will result in the Astrodelphis being faster, due to the fact that it also doesn't utilize stamina while in the Starfighter mode. You can actually see that our stamina was regenerating. Whereas when you use the gasoline saddle with the TROPEOGNATHUS, that actually utilizes his stamina. So you are going to have to land if you do use the TROPEOGNATHUS's jet thingy. So keep that in mind as well. But you can see here you are able to get quite a lot of extra speed with the TROPEOGNATHUS. However, getting from point A to point B will result in the Astrodelphis beating the TROPEOGNATHUS. Now guys, if we jump over onto the Astrodelphis, you can actually also take this guy underwater and still utilize his tech saddle under the water as well. You can see there we are cruising underwater, completely immune to oxygen or anything like that, and you do have the speed as you would in the air underwater. Now they also have the ability to do dives. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that as well, in which that will increase your speed exponentially more as well. So you can see there that we do increase with speed a little bit. So yeah, these guys are pretty crazy. We'll go into a harvesting test right now as well. I'm actually not entirely sure who will perform better on the harvesting. I'm not entirely sure. The annoying thing about the Astrodelphises, however, is you can't freaking land the bastards. And every time you jump off them, they decide to freaking travel halfway across the world. So what we're going to do here is we're going to bring in 2 iguanodons, 2 of the exact same dinos, so that they will give us the exact same harvesting. And we're going to kill both of them. We're going to use the TROPEOGNATHUS to harvest one and the Astrodelphis to harvest the other. We've got no resources on... I mean, we've got the resources, but no meat. Let's come over here and we'll harvest them up with the Tropheo. So you can see there we're getting a decent amount. We've lost about 2 raw meat from him eating it. So he's got about 100 meat. 147 hide and about 110 meat. So... Not a bad amount of meat. Let's go over on the Astrodelphis. Oh, the Astrodelphis also has a primary attack as well, which you can use while not in the Starship mode. I don't think I mentioned that. Okay, let's go over here and we'll see who gets the most meat. Okay, our Astrodelphis is actually just eaten 6 of it. And I can't seem to harvest the rest of this. There we go. The Astrodelphis, by the looks of it, actually kind of got the same amount of meat and hide. Let's come over here and compare the two. The Astrodelphis had about 6 of it. 147 hide. 146. We got 92 hide there, 92 meat there. The TROPEOGNATHUS actually gathered a little bit more meat than the Astrodelphis, which is rather interesting. So, yeah, the TROPEOGNATHUS is the slightly better harvester. Very, very slightly. But, that is pretty much everything you guys need to know about them. We're going to put them in a battle to the death. I'm pretty sure I've covered everything that I normally do in my Arc Insights, but let's get them in a battle to the death. Oh yeah, you can also ride the TROPEOGNATHUS without a saddle. I forgot to mention that as well. However, you're kind of slow. You've got the speed of a tappy. So keep that in mind, but that does have an advantage over the Astrodelphis, in which you do need a saddle to ride it. All right, so this is going to be interesting. I don't know how we're going to pull this battle off, because they are going to be both flyers. And it's going to be rather difficult because they're just going to take off into the sky. But we'll do our best to try and see who can win. They both have relatively low health. And I just wish the Astrodelphis wouldn't freaking fly off like that. For the purpose of this fight, I think what we'll do is we will unclaim the Tropheo. Actually, I'm not too sure. I think we'll get the Astrodelphis to attack the Tropheo, actually, because... the Astrodelphis is up in the sky. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go... We'll bring you guys back when the fight's ready to go. Alrighty, guys. They are set and ready to go. So... the Tropheo doesn't hit as hard as the Astrodelphis, but I'm pretty sure the Tropheo will win because of the health. And the Astrodelphis... yeah, you can see here this is going to be a very messy fight. I don't even know if they're going to be able to hit each other, to be honest. Okay, here we go. We've got some damage coming in from the Tropheo. He's coming after me now. Maybe I can kite him over to the Astrodelphis. This is quite a matchup. This is not what I was expecting. Alright, so I don't know if the Astrodelphis is just refusing to fight. No, there we go. We've gotten some damage in. But yeah, this is... this is going to be quite a fight. The Tropheo seems to be winning because it's actually hitting the Astrodelphis. The Astrodelphis doesn't seem to want to hit the actual Tropheo. Alright, what I'm going to do is I might speed this up a little bit. Let's go slow-mo. And we'll see if we can get a winner out of this without becoming 80 years old. Alright, so the Astrodelphis is getting quite a few hits in. You can see there that the Tropheo is not getting too many in. I'm thinking they're both pretty bloody. I think the Tropheo is slightly more bloodier than the Astro. I'm going to say definitely more bloodier than the Astro, but this is going to be a close one because, oh, this is, yeah, I apologize, guys. There's not really much else I can do about these kind of fights. So the Astrodelphis did beat the Tropheo, and I think that's purely because the Astrodelphis was hitting for an extra 8 damage. But, you know, 3 more hits from the Tropheo and the Astro would have died as well. So the Astrodelphis is slightly stronger than the Tropheo, but if you're looking for like a more primitive approach, the Tropheo is the way to go. But guys, nonetheless, that is going to wrap up the episode for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Arc Insight. Let me know what you guys want to see down below in the comments. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.